is Isidore Fink, a Polish immigrant who saved all his money and moved to New York and opened a laundromat on 4 East 123rd Street. After he closed his laundromat on the 9th of March 1929, he locked all the doors and his neighbor soon contacted the police after she heard shots and a struggle. When the police turned up to the apartment, all the doors and windows were locked firmly and bolted from the inside. They had to gain access to the apartment from a small transom window above the door that they managed to squeeze a small boy who was present through, who let the officers inside. Upon entering the apartment, the police found that Isidore had been shot dead. 2 shots through the chest and 1 through the left hand. They looked around and Isidore had money in his pocket and there was money in the cash register. No items were taken and the only fingerprints present in the apartment were that of Isidore. Originally, people believed it may have been suicide, but this was ruled out by the coroner as the 2 shots to the chest would have instantaneously killed him. Plus, no murder weapon was ever found. So, nothing taken, no weapon, no fingerprints, and no sign of entry or exit. This mystery and murder remains unsolved. The witch elm in Hagley Wood, where on the 18th of April 1943, 4 boys found the remains of a dead woman. After the discovery of the skull, the police were contacted, and upon a thorough search, they found a wedding ring, a pair of shoes, some rotted clothes, and the bones from one of her hands. Police estimated the woman was about 35 years old, had been dead between 18 months to 2 years, and had been put in the tree either alive or fresh dead, as this could not have been done once rigor mortis had set in. Police were baffled and had no idea who it was or how it had happened. There were reports in 1941 of a woman heard screaming in Hagley Wood, but nothing was found, so it was put down to foxes. With 0 clues or leads, the case went completely cold. Then 6 months later, around the district, strange graffiti saying, "Who put Bella in the witch elm?" arised. This was the first time a name had been put to the victim, and police wondered, was this a taunt or a clue? Theories include a World War II spy was discovered and dealt with, a drunken escapade gone wrong with stories of a man committed to a mental hospital haunted by the screams of a woman he put in a tree, or the victim of a ritual sacrifice called the Hands of God, where the hands are removed and the bones are scattered. This mystery remains unsolved. On August the 21st, 1966, after a tip-off, police found the corpses of 2 smartly dressed men wearing raincoats partly covered in grass and both wearing eye masks made of lead. There was no evidence of a struggle, no signs of trauma, and no apparent cause of death. After examination, the cause of death was determined to be cardiac arrest. With the men was an empty bottle of water, 2 wet towels, and a notebook. The note read, 4:30, be at specified location, 6:30, ingest capsules. After the effect, protect metals, await signal mast. Friends and family of the 2 men said they were part of a local group of electronic specialists who was experimenting in different ways, including contacting aliens. Also, the 2 men were not the only male technicians to be found dead on top of a hill in Brazil. 4 years earlier, a television technician was found dead on top of a hill and a lead mask was found next to his body. Some theories include electric smuggle gone wrong or a drug overdose, but the most touted explanation was that of a UFO, as several UFO sightings have been logged in the area the days leading up to the bodies being discovered. This mystery remains unsolved. Let's do some unsolved mysteries. Did you know in April 1977 in a small town in Alberta, a couple wanted to find the pump for their septic tank. Upon opening the tank, they found a badly decomposed body of a man who'd been tied up, beaten, tortured and shot before being put in the tank. Now they did facial reconstruction and sent his dental records to over 800 dentists, but they could not identify the man, so he remains in an unmarked grave. Did you know that French inventor Louis Le Prince actually invented the motion picture camera? He was about to head off to New York to showcase his invention when he disappeared with no trace of where he had ever gone. 2 years later, Thomas Edison invented his own motion picture camera, and after the famous patent wars ensued, Thomas Edison was credited with the invention. Did you know that in 1980, US naval ship Cyclops disappears with 300 men on board while going through the Bermuda Triangle? Even creepier is that 2 of her 3 sister ships disappeared while taking the same route over 20 years later. Did you know the loss of the Cyclops remains the largest non-combat loss of life in naval history?